everybody that's considering a country, exploring Brazil, they want to know what the quality of the healthcare is and what they would need to do and how much they would have to pay in to access to healthcare.
So okay, so healthcare, interesting subject here because actually they have like a free healthcare. So if you're it doesn't matter who you are, you can just show up in a hospital and they have it's called SUS, SUS, and they'll take care of you. It's one of the things. It's one of actually the benefits here in Brazil for the average person.
All right, so today we're heading over to the amazingly beautiful country of Brazil with my new friend Kevin Victor. Kevin lives in this beautiful country. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing great, good. Just it's uh, a 75-degree winter day here, so
Oh wow.
it's cold. It's cold for Rio standards. It's people, people wearing their jackets.
Yeah, wow, that's wild. It's just like 75 degrees in Rio de Janeiro. That's so right now
Yeah,
it's actually the winter there, right?
yeah. It's like it would be the equivalent of February.
Yeah, yeah. So you guys are moving into your summer as
Right,
we start moving into the winter up here.
right.
All right. So Kevin, thanks for taking the time to do this and sharing this information. It's always helpful for the viewers, especially I am big on Brazil. You and I have spoken before. I think it's one of the most incredible cultures and beautiful countries you could live in. So tell us a little bit about your backstory, about where you're from and how you landed in Rio de Janeiro.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm actually, I'm from the U.S. Originally I was born and raised. I grew up in California for the majority of my life. San Francisco Bay Area. My family's Brazilian, so both my parents, they're all born and raised here in Rio. They're from Rio. They're called people from Rio are called cariocas. So they're and then but they immigrated to the U.S. and then they had me and my brothers, and so it's kind of Rio's always been kind of a second home. Obviously all my family's here. I'd come here at least once a year. You know, roughly. Um, been coming since I was a baby, and then but I never really lived here full time longer than I never stayed here longer than like 6 months or something. And then around in 2020, or no, sorry, 2021. So during the whole COVID thing, I we actually traveled here. Um, my family, I'm actually with my wife and my son. We traveled here and we liked the lifestyle, the cost of living, just everything was very nice and different. And then we decided to move here in 2022. So I've been here for 3 years,
Okay.
full time. Yeah, just
Wow.
yeah,
Wow, the best of both worlds, man. You grew up around San Francisco. That's an
right,
amazing city, and now you're living in Rio
yeah.
de Janeiro, two amazing cities. And it's interesting. You're picking cities that are considered some of the most beautiful cities in the world.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's kind of just happened. Right? It's not. I guess it's probably because from my parents, growing up in Rio, they've been close to the beauty of cities. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, let's start off by explaining there are some people that have never been to Rio or haven't even explored Rio de Janeiro. They call it
right.
the city of God, right?
Yeah, the city of God, the marvelous city.
Yeah,
That's kind
so
of the
so maybe describe what does it look like? What does it feel like? What is Rio like living there?
yeah. So it's basically it was colonized by the Portuguese. They brought the Catholicism, which was really foundational here. And over time, it started being built up. It actually became the capital of Portugal. And it's a huge bay. It's on a bay, so it's kind of like San Francisco, which has a bay, and there's mountains on inland, and then you have the coast, and it's all tropical. It's a full tropical climate, and has the geography is all, of course, it's tropical rainforest.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just this mix, and you have the city. So you have this mix of the city, the mountains, the beach, the coast, and of course the vegetation, which kind of makes this like a complete kind of little package for that's not really, you don't really have those many places like that in the world. People, you guess you can compare it to, some people say Miami, but Miami isn't, you don't have the same natural, you just have the beaches, right? You don't really have the same uh, natural setting. And of course, it's a different country. Um, but yeah,
Hmm.
so it's kind of really sui generis as far as a city. There's not really other places that I've traveled a lot around the world, and I mean, there's not really anything comparable. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah,
Do they call it the city of God because it's so beautiful?
yeah, that along with the foundation of just the Catholicism and
Yeah.
the history, the whole rich history of the Portuguese coming here.
Yeah, and
That was
it's
really that was their main background for coming to Brazil, right? Is to spread Christianity.
not sure which country is the best fit for your move abroad? The Ideal Destination Finder takes the guesswork out of the process. It's a customized 22-question assessment that reveals your top 3 destinations based on your lifestyle, priorities, and budget. Instead of spending months researching and second-guessing, you'll get a clear, personalized shortlist to guide your next step abroad. And it could save you thousands by avoiding the wrong move. You can get started now at adventurefreaks.com. Just scroll down a little bit and you'll see the Ideal Destination Finder on the left. Just click it and start the assessment. I also put the link in the description, or you can click the QR code above. Now let's get back to the video. Well,
So
it's interesting, and two, there's some people that don't know this, that it's the only country in South America that speaks Portuguese. So every other
right,
country other than Guyana that speaks in South America speaks
South
Spanish.
America, right? Yeah, Guyana speak, yeah, English, right? So
They're English kind of and Creole
Creole,
yeah. So, but my thing is like, how did that happen? Why did this Spain? Brazil is a huge country, and so the Spanish conquistadors are taking
right,
over all of these countries in South America, but they leave this massive block open for Portugal. That I don't know.
right, right.
Do you understand that?
No,
Have you
yeah, yeah.
looked into that?
You have to look at history. It's like during the 16th century, the Pope. So back then the Catholic Church had a lot of power. So they pretty much divided the world for the two dominant powers back then was Spain and Portugal. So they told me you go explore this part of the world, you go to this part of the world, and then Portugal. If you split South America in half, they gave that land to Portugal, so for them to explore and colonize. And
Interesting.
that land became what Brazil is today. And it was yeah, so it was separate. The Portuguese and Spain, they're kind of like two brothers that went their own ways. They didn't. There wasn't much association. Of course, it's similar culture, but they just kind of did. The Portuguese went. Majority of their colonization was Africa and Asia. Actually, it wasn't even in Latin America. They didn't do much. And then the Spanish, of course, they colonized a big chunk of here,
Yes.
including North America, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it broke down. And with that, it was basically
Uh,
the Portuguese had just this little section of South America.
yeah. Oh, Kevin, you're my new history professor now.
Right, right, right. Yeah, no, a little bit, a little bit.
And then everybody down there has to like figure out how to work and survive.
Right,
You're a young guy, so you got to be, and you got a family, so you got to provide.
right,
What do you do for work down there? And I know that there are digital nomads. I've interviewed them that have moved down to Brazil and they stay for a period of time and they're working online, but they're typically employed by companies back in the US or Canada or UK somewhere.
right.
What are you doing for work to survive out there?
Yeah, so I work remote as a copywriter. So I do responsible for marketing for uh, course creators, coaches, anyone that has any kind of informational products online, so I can generate income through that monthly, which the living costs here are definitely reduced less than North America, Europe, and the more developed world. So your money goes a lot further here. So, but yeah, I mean, a lot of people with either there's digital nomads. That's a growing thing here. There's actually a digital nomad visa we can talk about.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, people have remote. They work. I've known some people. They work in an American company, but it's completely remote. So,
Yeah.
or there's people a lot of retirees that are just they live off of their pensions or investments.
Yeah. 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 Okay. All
That's a
right.
big,
Great. Well, let's pivot into visas. Let's go dive into that. Tell us what you know about visas and what the requirement is. A lot of times there's an income requirement for digital nomads. They need to show that they make a certain amount of money, even for retirees, considering Brazil. Share what you know about that.
yeah. So if you anyone if you can come and stay here without any kind of special visa for 90 days,
Hmm.
and then you can request a extension for another 90 days. So basically, what, half a year you can stay here without any special visa, and that doesn't require anything. But if you want to stay here a year or longer, then there's of course there's a retirement visa for a visa. You need to show a pension of $2,000, like a simple bank. I'm sure
Yeah.
it's pretty simple. And then you have the digital nomad visa, which is someone like me, or I'm Brazilian, so I don't have a passport. But if you're just a foreigner, um, you need to show also that you're getting income from some kind of job, which is it's $2,000 as well, and
Okay.
it's good for 1 year. So that for those people, you don't need any kind of pension or show any kind of investment income, but you need to show that you make money from some kind of work or some kind of income producing work. So you have to show statements, then you have to, and all these visa requirements. There's a really bureaucratic process of like they check your FBI, your criminal record, all that. And, all the usual. You have to pay some fees, but some people it's I recommend getting a lawyer to do all that just because it's quicker and it's more maybe $1,000, $2,000
Hmm.
to do that, but you can do it yourself. People do it. It's a lot of steps.
Hmm. Okay, great info, Kevin, on the visas. So I guess there's almost like a loophole too. There's like not a loophole. A lot of countries do the same thing, but you can go on a tourist visa, stay 90 days. Brazil allows you to extend it for another 90 days. So you can say a half a year there. And a lot of
Uh,
digital nomads, they're kind of bouncing anyway. So rather
yeah,
than apply for a full visa, you could stay in Brazil on the beach for 6 months and then shoot over to Colombia or
right.
somewhere, Uruguay, Chile. Uh,
Right, and these countries are yeah, like their requirements are even easier. I think Paraguay. I'm not sure, but yeah. So it's basically through a year. So if you spent more than 6 months, they wouldn't allow you to. So if you make the visa run, it only resets every year.
okay.
So it's resets every year. Yeah.
All right. So the big question, people, I love Rio. I hear it's magical. Everybody that I talk to that goes there is blown away by its beauty.
Oh
And
yeah.
there are some people that just go there and they really can't leave because it's such an incredible place. It's just vibrant. There's a lot of things to do, and it's got stunning beaches right at your doorstep. It's got everything. It's got mountains that are stunning.
Right.
So it's very, very beautiful. Is it affordable? Can you find affordable rentals there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's for I live in a more upscale area, which is considered one of the more expensive neighborhoods here in all of Rio de Janeiro, and you can get let's say a one bedroom for $1,500, a decent and this is upscale,
Yeah.
$1,500. And now if you want to go to, which you're still by the beach, but it's it's called the place Copacabana, which is a little bit more middle class for Brazilian standards, but it's still nice. There, it's probably $1,000 a month for so for one bedroom for a decent for nice and that's Rio. This is Rio de Janeiro. That's in Rio, in the city of Rio, and the best beaches. That's the rough. So yeah, there's a lot of big variation in costs. Also there's the more adventurous types that want to live in the favelas or where where the more poor people live. But
Yeah, explain what a favela is, and actually, can people live there, and are you safe in a favela?
yeah, for sure. So yeah, so Rio is basically, I would say it's broken up in three main regions: the south, the north, and the west. So I live in the south. This is the more touristic. This is where all the more tourist attraction destinations are. And there's favelas in the whole city, but the ones here in the south zone are a little bit more uh, tamer and more calm. But yeah, there's definitely gringos and foreigners that live there very cheaply. And as far as safety, yeah, it's not. It has a reputation of uh, gangs and all and crime. But if you live there and they know you, they're not going to, especially if you're contributing. They're not going. It's not going to be that much of a big deal, especially here in the South Zone. Once you go to the north, it's a whole different story. But you would, as a tourist or someone staying here a temporary amount of time, you wouldn't want to stay there anyways. So yeah, you could stay in a favela, and the costs there are a couple $100 maybe a month
For an apartment.
for a little kitchenette with like a one bedroom with
Yeah,
yeah.
200
So
in
you
a
could do that.
favela. How far are these favelas from the beach?
Yeah, so here in the South Zone, there's a couple that are like here where I live in Ipanema. There's one that's 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, but they're on the hills, right? So
Yeah,
the apartments, all that, they're all on the flatland, and then the favelas are on the hills. So there's a kind of a separation there.
yeah,
Yes, so there is a couple favelas in here, and but like I said, the ones in the South Zone, these areas are a little more, I guess you could say, gentrified. They're
hmm,
more normal. There's not much of an issue as you would in the North zone, which is that's where the majority of the because there's a reputation of crime and all that here in Rio. But if you're a tourist and have common sense, if you've lived in New York or any of these big cities or gone, it's pretty much the same thing.
yeah.
It's not the same precautions.
Okay. So you mentioned 1,500 upscale, $1,000 um, in
More affordable.
Copacabana, did you say? Or
Yeah,
okay. So
Copacabana. Yeah.
okay, so then are there any options a little bit further out, but you're still, you're in Rio where people can find rentals for 400, 500, 600? Are
Yeah,
those there are.
definitely. If you want to go away from the beach, maybe 10 minutes, like there's a neighborhood called Botafogo or Flamengo, or there's some areas in the west zone, which is a little bit more further away from the city. There you can get, let's say, a one bedroom for five, six, like between $500 to $700 for decent. But you'll be as far as the west zone, you're just kind of more isolated from the main city, but you're still close to the beach. But then if you want to stay around the main area here in Rio, you'd have to go a little bit more inland, which would be a good maybe 10, 15-minute drive away from the beach, but a lot more affordable
Hmm.
rent, a lot more. Yeah, so between $500 to,
Okay.
depending on the dollar,
So
depending
you,
on the purchasing power of your
yeah.
currency.
So you could be 10, 15 minutes away from the beach, living still in Rio de Janeiro, and you could find an apartment for 500.
Yeah, easily, yeah.
Okay, so then you got to get to the beach. How do
Right.
people get around, and what is the easiest way to do that?
So um, there is public transportation. Well, there's a subway system. It's one of the few places of subway here I think in South America. Um, it's pretty decent. I take it actually, just for depending on where I'm going. But then Uber is super popular. You can get Uber anywhere here, and that's very cheap. The average, across this half hour drive, maybe $5, $10 Uber ride
Okay, so
for half.
if you're living in one of these communities that's going to
Yeah,
be, and you get an apartment for 500 bucks, you want to go spend the day at the beach, you could pretty much Uber in by for $3 and $3 back, do you think?
sure. Yeah. Let's say yeah, $3 to $5. Yeah.
Okay, so then can you take the metro from any of those communities that are a little bit further out?
A lot of people do that. Yeah. So I live near a subway, and I see people like on the weekends coming from you know these areas, these neighborhoods further away, to go to the
Okay.
beach here. So yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
It's open every day.
So
And
that would be
yeah,
the ideal thing to do. A lot of people do that in New York City rather than living in
yeah,
Manhattan. They move out to Queens, they move out to Brooklyn. They live in an area of Brooklyn or Queens that's close to a subway station, and they can easily just access Manhattan by jumping on the train. So if you identify one of these outer skirt towns, but if they have a train station or a subway station in close proximity, it's ideal.
right, exactly. Like I was saying, there's like Botafogo, which is a very like I think I mentioned is pretty very affordable. It's 10 to 15 minute away from the beach. There's a subway right there. You go here, you can stop right where like, close to where I am, and then a couple dollar metro, like $2 basically.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. And you're living close to the beach. You're a surfer,
Yeah,
you
I'm,
mentioned.
I'm
So
blocks away, a couple blocks.
so you can just get walk down with your surfboard and dive in.
Yeah, so that's a big part of me wanting to live here. I'm a surfer, so there's maybe 5 surf breaks on biking. I take a bike or a walk. Yeah, that's a big part of the lifestyle here. The whole beach. So it's not just for surfers, but if you're into that, just there's a lot of sports you can do in the beach. You can do volleyball, all kinds of soccer, beach tennis,
Yeah.
swimming, all that.
Are you a skateboarder too?
Yeah, I not as much as I used to when I was younger. I don't like to get injured, but yeah, I skate around, do some
Yeah.
skating.
All the surfer guys, man, they skateboard too. All right, well, let's dive into utilities. How much do you pay for utilities approximately per month? Electric, water, and then let's talk about any other thing, maybe if there's propane, gas, and then let us know what Wi-Fi and cell phone costs there as well.
Yeah, so usually with these, if you live in an apartment, usually water is all included. You don't have to. You'll pay for besides rent, you'll pay for the main bills will be your gas, which is maybe $20 to $30 a month.
Okay.
Um, Electricity, light, which in the summer you'll if you can use AC a lot, it's going to raise up the cost. But roughly about the same, maybe up to $50 if you're using it a lot.
Okay.
That's like a high end $50. Uh, and then what else? That's the two main. And then internet, maybe 20, yeah, $20 to $30 as well
Okay.
for high speed. I don't internet is good here.
Okay.
It's pretty much the main bills
Yeah. How
as
about
far
cell
as
phone? What do you pay for a cell phone there?
well, cell phone. I just use international. I still have an international plan from the United States, but you can get a prepaid SIM card. Not sure actually how much. I don't have a local phone.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check into it and add that. I'm guessing it's probably 10 to 20 bucks.
Yeah, it's yeah.
All right. And what do you guys pay for groceries down there?
Yeah, so grocery, that's food here is a lot. That's one of the main things I noticed as far as costs. That is a lot cheaper, and you get high quality food here, produce. So I go to the grocery store and there's the farmers market. So you already have organic food, and roughly on average uh, you know uh, with my family, we probably spent around weekly $100 to $200. Uh, that's for a family of, or now it's 5. So, and that's so if you're single by yourself, you can maybe get manage $50 in food and groceries, and that's not including eating out, but and that's with uh, variety, fruits and vegetables, meats, any of that.
Hmm.
It's
So
really,
you're
it's really
paying what?
affordable.
You're paying 200 a week for your
At
family?
most, at most. Yeah, I mean, I have a big, I have a, this is a family of five, so
So you have three kids.
I have three kids. Yeah,
Okay.
but
So it's like let's say 150 a week for you. So you're doing about 600 a
yeah,
month.
right.
Okay. So would you
And
say
both
that a single individual can get by on two, 300?
a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Restaurants. So what do people eat in Brazil? What do you eat and how much can you go out and get a nice Brazilian meal for?
Yeah, so Brazilian cuisine is very diverse. There's a lot of, it's famous for, the barbecue, rice and beans, of course, uh, all kinds of tropical fruits. You can go to like a nice, let's say not like the high end, but a nice restaurant will be for each person you're looking at, including drinks with alcohol or whatever. It's going to be around maybe $10 to $20
Okay.
this is a nice restaurant. If you want to get some affordable, you can do it for there's you can get lunch. You can get a good lunch, rice, beans, and like a steak for maybe $5 to $10. I mean,
Okay. All right. How often do you eat out? Do you guys eat out that often? Probably with a
I mean,
family of five.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, a couple times a week, sometimes more or less. So for us, it would be, can range from $50 or around there 50
Yeah.
for just family.
Okay. All right, great. And we talked a little bit about the things to do because it's a big outdoor city. You can do a lot of things outdoors. A lot of people go to the beach, hang out. You're
Right.
a surfer. What are some of the things people can do if they live in Rio?
For sure, yeah. So, of course, the beach, that's obvious. If you're, and then if you if you don't like the beach, or there's hiking, there's waterfalls. And this is all within 10-15 minute drive. Uh, there's several hiking spots. These huge cliffs. If you've seen in pictures, you can hike
Yeah.
up there. They have tours. They have tours you can take with people. Um, Waterfalls. Uh, any kind of outdoor. It's very fitness culture. There's a lot of gyms, jiu-jitsu, martial arts, and that whole fitness, yoga, all that. So you can do all that. Shopping. There's plenty
Yeah.
of nice malls here. To kind of like remind me of the malls when I was a kid in the U.S. Like as far as the family and all that. Um,
So I'm guessing, do they have like samba dancing classes or
yeah,
jujitsu classes and things like that?
yeah, yeah. Any kind of class, anything. Yeah, it's that any all that samba and no. If you're interested in samba and all that, every night basically, besides maybe like uh, Tuesday night or Monday night or something like that, there's some kind of samba club or um, bossa nova. Any of those, you can go out to where they're gonna have a band dancing.
When you were single and you weren't a family man, you were probably enrolled in all those samba
Yeah,
classes.
yeah, yeah. If you're a single guy here, it's yeah, it's pretty much it's nice. It's nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you can. Yeah, the weekends there's bars everywhere, and it's a big people like going out to bars. It's very casual. Everything's very casual. There's nothing very. It's not like you're wearing fancy. They do have that as well, like clubs, nightclubs, and all that. But I'd say overall, it's a lot more of a casual approach to nightlife and dancing, and a lot of street parties. And,
I would think they'd have museums and theaters, like live
yeah,
theater stuff in Rio as well, do they? Or
yeah, and downtown. So there's the downtown region, which has all the cultural, plenty of museums, old Brazilian, Portuguese art, art galleries, museums. There's a municipal theater which is really nice there. I've been to a couple of theaters there. Yeah, there's all kind of uh, events as far as like on the weekends, as far as food and Yeah, everything, really everything. Any
Hmm.
kind of cultural event, you can find it here.
And they and jujitsu, wasn't that born and invented in Brazil? Didn't that come from Brazil?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it originated from a Japanese guy, and then and then he taught some Brazilian family. I think the Gracies,
The Gracies,
and
yeah.
the Gracies, and then they basically made it into their own. They made it so like a smaller person can use it against a bigger person. They made it a whole. So they basically, yeah, they created their own martial art, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is which is basically in Rio. That's where it came from, the
Yeah.
Gracie family,
Okay.
and yeah. So they have gyms all around here for Jiu-Jitsu. I used to
Yeah.
do Jiu-Jitsu. So you can get a class, a monthly class, maybe less than $50 a month
Yeah, and for the
for
viewers that don't know it, it's more or less a combination of like martial arts, but yet wrestling as well,
right.
and movements, and it's really about learning how to leverage energy with a person, and a lot of people take those classes for self-defense and just for staying in great shape. They're a lot of fun.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's not, it's not, Jiu-Jitsu is not necessarily like a fighting. Its foundation is more self-defense, right? There is a fighting aspect, but yeah, one of the hardest workouts is the Jiu-Jitsu
Yeah,
workout.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's cool. Yeah, and yeah, I definitely recommend if someone's interested in that is doing Jiu-Jitsu for sure.
All right. Well, great information, Kevin. You mentioned Metro. Do you have any idea what a Metro costs to jump on the Metro and take it to the
Subway.
beach?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
Metro, the one-way ticket. It's basically anywhere you can go. It's about $1.50 maybe.
Okay. All right.
Dollar two, $1 to $2. Yeah.
Okay. And that'll get you anywhere around the city, pretty much.
Yeah. And if not, you stop somewhere and then you get an Uber, which is for $5 from the subway to
Yeah.
go somewhere that's a little bit more distant.
Okay. All right. Great information. Okay, the last thing we're on is healthcare. Everybody that's considering a country, exploring Brazil, they want to know what the quality of the healthcare is and what they would need to do and how much they would have to pay in to access to healthcare.
So okay, so healthcare, interesting subject here because actually they have like a free healthcare. So if it doesn't matter who you are, you can just show up in a hospital and they have it's called SUS, SUS, and they'll take care of you. It's one of the things. It's one of actually the benefits here in Brazil for the average person. But and it's pretty good service. You know, a lot of these doctors and medical, they're all trained either the best here or in the U.S. and Europe. Um, Now, if you want to, and this is for this is like the universal healthcare system that they have here. But you can also there's also private hospitals, which can be pricey, but you'll get service right away. It's like top-notch service. And there's health plans, all that. You can get a private health insurance here for maybe it can be pricey, but you're like I said, you can get it's really top-notch service, maybe a couple $100 a month for like
Okay.
a really high-end private healthcare. Like I said, I don't, me personally, I don't have a healthcare for myself. You know, if anything, I'll just pay cash if I had to go to private, um, you know, like a like a private hospital for if I got, split my head open or something. Maybe it
Yeah.
would be, maybe it'd be like $100 or something to get a. Actually, happened to my son. That's funny. My son actually he cut himself. We had to get stitches, and we went to a private hospital. So one of the higher end hospitals, it was about maybe a little over $200
Okay.
for stitches.
Yeah.
And I know I could go to a free hospital, but I would have waited for who knows, so a couple hours or whatever. But yeah, there is healthcare here is free for everyone, but there is the private healthcare system as well.
So there is the public health care. You could have taken your son there and got stitches for free.
Yeah, free.
Okay. So why didn't you go there?
I'm not I know because I'm familiar with like how it work like the procedures here, and unless I wouldn't take him there unless let's say it was like a really like a bad like a trauma because
Okay.
That's what they're mostly known for. And I knew that I would go to these hospitals and they're going to see that he's not as severe, and he might be there for a couple hours.
Okay. So
I just didn't want to, I don't. How old was he at the time? 4 years old. 4-year-old son just to wait a couple hours for just some stitches. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
you can do it.
so you
You
can
can.
go to a private clinic that you took your son to and immediately be seen?
Yeah, they'll see that he's. Yeah, they saw that he was bleeding, and it wasn't. That he wasn't. It was a hole in his neck here. So
Okay.
yeah, they immediately. Like I said, it was a little bit over $200 for
Okay.
the everything.
Okay. Well, that's everything, Kevin. Is there anything you can think of for the viewers that are watching that that we didn't discuss that could benefit them that are considering moving to Brazil?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, okay, so it's a big country. The country's huge. It's a massive country. Of course, Rio, São Paulo are the hot spots, right? The tourist spots. I'd say, I'm biased, but I'd say Rio is the nicest city in Brazil, and overall, offers the most. But of course, it comes with, and all these costs I was telling you, this is probably the most expensive city. This is São Paulo. So if you're looking to even cut costs, even if you want to be the minimal as you can go to the Northeast, or other parts of Brazil and spend half or less or more, less than what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, if you want to stay in Rio, the state, because it's not just, there's a Rio, the city, and Rio, the state. So it's like New York City, and New York State.
Yeah.
An hour away from here, hour or two away from here, there's some beach towns. It's the same, like I was saying, you're an hour or two away from the city, but your costs are going to be a lot lower as well.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to save money, as much as possible, uh, yeah, you maybe you want to go outside the city
So there are
and
coastal towns you could choose an hour
yeah,
away and you could live there.
yeah. There's let's say there's a famous, 2 hours away. It's called Saquarema. It's where they have the World Surf Competition.
Uh-huh.
There, it's a beach town. It's not like Rio where it's a metropolis. It's a small beach town. There, you can live right on the beach, or maybe, yeah, a couple hundred, $500 or less.
Wow, for an apartment.
Yeah,
So
or
it's
yeah, for sure. Yeah, or maybe a house. I haven't, or like a small house, right?
that's everything, Kevin. Is so
Anything else?
how do people find you? So who are your clients? And tell people who you kind of work with, who you serve with your business. Tell them, and how can people find you if they want to book you for the services you provide down there?
Yeah. So, like I said, I was, or I do copywriting services. So basically anything related to uh, internet marketing, email marketing, any kind of, have your sales funnel, if you have a website. So basically, I work with course creators, um, info product sell, anyone that sells memberships, courses, events, any kind of informational product. I can help their business with basically their whole sales funnel, which includes email marketing, of course, any kind of sales pages, web copy, ads, anything related to that. So you can go to my website, victorcopywriting.com. It's a
Okay.
simple website there. You can find me there.
And we'll put that in the description below so people can find you. Well, Kevin, I just wanted to say, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to share all this information. Very helpful. And I truly appreciate it.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was always nice, giving some info about here. There's a lot of stuff that it's not very familiar to people, but so it's cool to talk about.
All right, man. Well, you have a great rest of the day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.